Epstein files that a lot of y'all are not gonna like. The only reason that the Epstein files has the power to topple the world is because a lot of y'all genuinely believed that the elite would never treat white people the way that white people collectively treated black people during slavery. Slavery wasn't black people being forced to work a job they didn't care about. It was people being forced to work until their muscles would fall off of their bones. Black people would be tortured for just funsies. They'd be medically experimented on with no kind of anesthesia. You know how throughout the South, even today, it seems like every other pastor and peepaw is touching on kids? Well, that is a cultural stay from when white people used to own black children. Do y'all honestly think that a master is going to wait until a slave turned 18 in order to assault them? It's better to break them in when they're young. But if it was really that bad, why weren't there more slave rebellions? There were slave rebellions throughout the South, constantly. The only reason why you only know about Nat Turner is so that way everybody can point and be like, oh my gosh, look at him, he's so crazy. He started killing these white people because he thought he had messages from God. Even after slavery ended, whenever a black person would be lynched, a lot of the times the white people who did it would literally sever off some of their body parts and keep them as mementos. Black people would be skinned, and then their skin would be turned into human leather, so that way it could be used for leather goods, like coin purses, or the binding of a book, or a bag. There is not a single thing in those files that has not been done to black people before. The problem isn't that elites are doing those kinds of things. The problem is, bro, I thought us white people, I thought we were in this together. I thought we were a team, man. So keep in mind, as above, so below. The elites told non-elite white people, hey, here's a group of people who we deem as worthless and y'all can torture them and do whatever the hell you want with them. And they'll have like little to no recourse whatsoever. And white people collectively, we were like, cool. The trade-off is that the elites also got their own group of people that they could do whatever the hell they wanted to with little to no recourse. The problem is that group of people was you and me. It was pretty much anyone who wasn't part of the elite. White people collectively made a deal with the devil. Here's this group of people that you can violate and brutalize to your heart's content, and in exchange, we get your humanity. That's why white people are miserable and constantly in black people's business. That's why for pretty much at least the past 100 years, any kind of cultural artifact that's really stayed and stood the test of time has been from black people, often just with a white face on it. And that's why, by and large, white people were so disturbed whenever Renee Good was murdered, because we've seen that hundreds of times before, but that's supposed to happen to black people, not to us. And a lot of white people are acting so disturbed because now they're killing our neighbors, but you didn't particularly care whenever your neighbors were dying during the Black Lives Matter movement, now did you? But in the past couple of months, now a lot of white people are waking up to a really obvious reality, and that is black history has always been white America's future. For the past couple of months, white people are being forced to wake up to the obvious truth that there is no kind of solidarity or allegiance of whiteness across class lines. It's always been all of us are cattle to them, like that's it. But all of this is why I wasn't surprised at all when in the new batch of files that were just released, there was like an email or something where somebody said that they didn't want any of the children they were planning on doing things with to be black, because duh. Any white person could violate a black person and get away with it. That's just the way the world is. But to do all of the things that we did to black people onto other white people, that's power. Brutalizing black people just doesn't really fuel the ego for them in the way that hurting white people does. These people aren't in some way attracted to their victims. That's never the case with sexual assault. These people get off on the kind of power and rush they feel, the thrill of having violated something of value and then being able to get away with it. It's the same way that a lot of men will sexually harass or batter women doing notably better than them. It fuels their ego, like being able to violate her and get away with it. This has always been going on. We have always known that this has always been going on. The problem is, you didn't think that you would be in this position whenever push came to shove. You thought it was just going to be the black people. And I'm not going to say that anybody's wrong for feeling any type of way with everything that's going on, but can we please stop acting like we're surprised? I'm going to say something about the Epstein files that a lot of y'all are...
Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who teach 100% truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and to the elect. It's your brother Ra'aya, back with another video. And yeah, she said a lot in this video But she came up with a lot of, different things that kind of hit, the right buttons, right? She was speaking about Esau, them being, you know, Satan worshippers and all of that, right? When we know that the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan is the so-called white man, the Edomites, the Esau Edom, right? So for him to be serving Satan, that's nothing too far-fetched because we see it, right? Tell me this, what people would go around, even with the story of them being, because they went around this world claiming to be the people of the Bible, right? They have placed their images as the people and all of that, whitewashed everything and did all this, right? But what people was still, they will claim this, but still on black properties, burn a cross. They would burn a cross and roll around with red capes and white capes over their head, on horse, like, like, have y'all ever seen these, matter of fact, let me go to some of them. Y'all seen these Edomites? KKK. Like, have you seen this? And, and y'all don't think these people are devil worshippers? Or Satan worshippers? These people are the devil that the Bible speak of. And all of this is in black and white. I'm trying to figure out why there's no color in this. They're all black and white out. Because they typically have red ones on too. I seen some that had the red. Let me see. Yeah, this one with the red cape. So you can see them rocking this. Is this giving the people of the Bible? You know what I'm saying? Is this the type of energy that's given the holy people of the Bible? Or is this the complete and utter opposite? This is the complete and utter opposite. So when you hearing things like these Edomites is raping children and eating them and then sacrificing them and doing all this crazy shit, right? How is this too far-fetched from what you're seeing from here with this? If these people were the people of the scriptures, if these people were the Israelites, which they're claiming to be the people of the Bible, the Amalekites out there in our land right now is claiming to be us. Why would you ever catch somebody doing something like this? Why would they burn this cross? And especially on Jake houses, they will put a cross on Jake front yard and burn that motherfucker to represent like hate towards us. So to put even more in your mind, like why would they do that then? How would it affect us if they are the people of the scriptures, right? Well, how would that even affect us? They know that we are the people of the scriptures, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and that's why it's a disrespectful thing. That's why it's a scary thing at the sight of us to see, because they would actually do something like this. These Edomites out their goddamn mind. And you telling me this ain't no devil worship? These are the people who, look, you see this, right? You see this KKK, right? Now, do you see this? This is the same thing. This is a medieval hooded cloak. And they calling it a medieval hooded cloak, but in fact, these were, like during the Crusades, these are the things that they wrote. Yep, here it goes, Crusader Knights cape. These are the things that they wore when having, wars, right? They went around the world with uniforms and shit like this to represent Christianity and all that. And they went and killed and raped and pillaged in these type of things. So it's just crazy, man. The fact that it's so far fetched to people that these Edomites, but I don't think it is. I think Jake is looking at this like, oh, I mean, it fits. We already know these people to be these type of people anyway. They are the main people that we see that are rapists, the mass murderers, the kidnappers, the you know what I mean, the horrors of the earth. When you even think about a horror movie, when you think about a scary movie, who are the main culprits of scary movies? The so-called white man. It ain't Jason. Jason is not a so-called black man. Michael Myers is not a so-called black man. Freddy Krueger or Cougar, however you say it, is not a so-called black man. Right? Um, who else? You can go down the list. There's a bunch of motherfucker like I know y'all seen the Scream movies where the serial killer and all that going around killing motherfuckers and all that, right? Those wasn't so called black people. Those was Edomites doing that shit. When you look at the Columbine shooters and all this other stuff that's going on, it's Edomites doing that shit. So it's like, you know, from seeing these things, now let's keep going in the video.
Not gonna like. The only reason that the Epstein Files has the power to topple the world is because a lot of y'all genuinely believed that the elite would never treat white people the way that white people collectively treated black people during.
See, the elite banking families don't give a damn about their own people. That's a part of what makes them the devil that the Bible speaks of. They are great deceivers. They're even adversarial to their own. They're killers, murderers, right? And it's just these lower level Edomites that just think that they have their best interests at heart because they gave them the illusion of and I believe right now they're seeing that their so-called rights that they've been fighting for and going to war for and all this bullshit they've been doing, they're starting to see like, hold on, these rights don't really exist. The only reason why they exist is because our armies go out and they go and kill people. But now that we're in this newer age and these young liberal Edomites are starting to wake up to certain things, they're starting to be like, no, F this war. We don't need these wars. We don't need all that. But not knowing that these wars is what was keeping y'all being able to be so damn liberal out here and be saying whatever you want to say, free speech, all this stuff. And these are all illusions. There ain't no such thing as free speech because what you say can get you killed. You know what I'm saying? The fact that Esau Edom even had it as a so-called right is crazy. That's crazy work. But the Heavenly Father put the Spirit on him to do that just for this truth right now. Just so we can have the free ability to say this truth. Because if there wasn't a such thing as this free speech, this truth wouldn't have been able to go out.